Right, so I'm one of those people I think was referred to at the beginning as being one of the incumbents. So one of the traditional insurance companies. I'm a psychologist, so it seems a bit strange to be regarding ourselves as incumbents, but that's my background, and I think that maybe is an indicator of some of our thinking, which is to try to be a bit different about this. So when we started thinking more seriously about innovation last year, and we set up something called MS Amlin Edge, one of the things that occurred to me was that it's not about the ideas. There are plenty of people out there in the audience who have ideas, lots and lots of ideas. It's actually about the strategy. It's about being bold. It's about executing on things fast. And so we came up with a tag, which I think I stole from a book somewhere, which is think big, start small, move fast. And so that's what we've attempted to do over the last 18 months or so. We set up our Edge team, which is a core team plus virtual people who are involved in what we're doing, and it's grown more widely because we are now part of MSI, and so there's a very large Japanese organization behind us, and so we're collaborating with them as well. But we set it up to think about innovation in terms of 3 levels. So the first level is tactical innovation. What can we use in terms of what startups are doing, what tech there is out there, or even new business models that might affect how we currently do business. And so we could change how we currently do business, make it more efficient, maybe drive more premium, etc. And that's fine, but that's not going to change the world, as we know. So the next level was to be more radical. So radical innovation where we might come up with completely different business models. So it would shift how we do business completely. And some of the tech that might help us with that could be blockchain, it could be any number of different things, AI or whatever. But it's important to do something which shifted our business model. Because it's very difficult for organizations, incumbent organizations, to see the world in any other way than the way they see it now. And so to shift that takes a lot of galvanizing effort, if you like. And then the third level of innovation was to do what we called exploratory innovation. So just to test out ideas in a kind of sandbox environment, both a technology sandbox, but also a mindset of experimenting on what is possible. And so we've set up a few examples of that in what I'll discuss in the next 3 minutes or so. One of the other things we've done is to actually take account of what clients are saying out there, very large clients in the first instance. And one of the things we learned recently is that they are saying, you're an insurance company, we don't particularly care about what you sell. We don't particularly care about policies, which is what you desperately want to sell us. We actually care about your capabilities. And some of those capabilities that they're really, really interested in are not insurance policies. They are things like risk mitigation, or they are things like data analytics to tell them something about the full portfolio of their risk. So if you can tell them how you can help the total portfolio of their risk, they are very interested in what you have to say. So I think even the market landscape is shifting quite dramatically for what startups and what incumbents need to be thinking about for their clients. The world is changing quite fast. In terms of tactical innovation, we've done quite a lot of work on robotics, and the guy who heads up our work, David Melvin, is here today. He's driving a lot of that robotics work with a team of people. And what we're trying to do is see if we can change internally what we do by adding robotic process automation to our current processes. It is tactical innovation, but we think it will help us in the short and the longer term. That's one thing we're doing, and we intend to build what we've called a center of expertise to do that. And so anyone who can help us with that obviously is very welcome. The other thing we're working on, I suppose what would be called the more radical end of innovation, is a blockchain proof of concept. We're quite a long way into that over the last bit less than a year or so. That's subject to NDA, so I can't tell you much more than that. But we think it will have a profound impact in the specific market that we're looking at in time, but faster than I think we believed even 6 months ago. Again, one of my team, Maddie here, is leading us on the blockchain work we're doing. I suspect in time we'll see multiple blockchains across the insurance sector doing all sorts of different things we can't even imagine now. We're also looking at the use of AI, algorithms, machine learning for how we can augment what underwriters do. So how can we turn underwriters into, if you like, Terminator underwriters with special skills who can take out the opposition And one of the ways to do that is to think very, very seriously about the kind of algorithms and the kind of AI that can actually help them by scraping the whole web to provide them with data that really makes a difference, gives them an edge in what they do. And then one of the other big areas, which I think Robin referred to earlier, and I think is absolutely crucial, is just this whole realm of data, which nobody really understands properly yet, but I think there are the beginnings of technology which can develop that as data as a business, if you like, instead of data which is just an aid to how we do things now. So that would be exploratory, it would be radical innovation. Long way to run, I think. I think it's harder and it needs more computing power than people first imagined, but I believe that will be how things will be differentiated in the future. So data is the new revenue generator. And then finally, we're doing a lot of work with some of our Japanese colleagues in the MSI group as a whole to try to get better at understanding what is happening in Silicon Valley and elsewhere in the world. So we want to spend more time actually looking at what startups are doing in both in London, Silicon Valley, and elsewhere in the world, so that we can actually spot the trends, first of all, but also take advantage of those startups that are really making a difference. Thank you very much.